Happy New Year 2016! It's time for the top 21 of 2015. Like I said, it's the top 21 of 2015. I couldn't quite pare it down to the top 20. So many great releases in 2015. I had to leave a lot of great stuff out to get it down to 21. But I just couldn't get that last one cut, so we're going to go at 21. So, top 21 of 2015, starting with W.A.S.P. Partida. Pure, old school thrash metal. Just balls to the wall thrash metal. What else can I say? It's just what it is. Name of the album, Hidden Evolution. And I got Rene from Spain, our Hospa metal, and thanks for picking up this one. He's the one who suggested picking up, and he was right. This is right up my alley. If you're into old school thrash metal, these guys are one of the best of the new wave of traditional thrash metal bands. Right up there with some of my favorites, you know, Havoc and Vector and Violator and Evil, bands like that. These guys are at the top of the heap. Great stuff. And W.A.S.P. Partida, thrash metal, number 21. Number 20, UDO, Decadent. Great album for UDO. Some of his past recent albums kind of had a very digital sound, which I didn't like at all. This one, the sound problems have been improved with this one. The songwriting is incredible. Udo sounds as good and troll-like as he ever has. Just a great album from top to bottom. Double vinyl sets. Just fantastic release. Pure, old school, heavy metal. Sounds like classic Udo, which is exactly what you want to hear when you buy an album from UDO. So number 20, Decadent, UDO. Number 19 was a CD-only release. And this is Stars That Move. This is on the Stone Groove Records label. And I just listened to this thing over and over and over again this year. Great old school doom, stoner metal, whatever you want to call it, with female vocals. Very old school Sabbath inspired stuff. Very earthy sounding. And they actually do a cover of a Sabbath song on here, and I can't remember what it is. National Acrobat, yes. Is a Black Sabbath cover in here. Great album from these guys. Highly recommend it. Check it out. Stone Groove Records. Good stuff. Number 19. Number 18. More doom metal. Pentagram. So you got the new school here. Old school right here. Victor Griffin's classic riffs. And of course, you've got Bobby Liebling's, old school vocal style. I gotta be honest, this one took me a little longer to get into than the last one, the one that came before this one. But once I did, it just really grabbed me like a juggler, and I listened to it over and over and over again. In fact, I bought this one both on CD and vinyl. That's how much I like it. Just a great album from the revitalized Pentagram lineup. Like I said, Victor Griffin, one of my favorite doom guitar players, just a riff master, and that is definitely exhibited on Pentagram's Curious Volume, number 18. Number 17, Los Angeles-based power thrash band. This is Ruthless. And this album, They Rise, came out of nowhere. Didn't realize they were putting something new out. I knew they were out playing, knew they were doing shows. I actually saw Ruthless out opening up for Accept in Hollywood. And they sounded great. But they, a little bit of lineup changes here and there. They finally settled on this lineup, which features Dave Watson on guitar, formerly of Hyrax. Just a great power thrash album. If you like, old school Metal Church, Reverend, Heretic, that kind of stuff, where it's almost thrash metal, but it kind of straddles that fence between thrash metal and traditional heavy metal. That's exactly what you're going to get from Ruthless. American power metal is what I would call it. Great stuff. Great album. Love to get this one on vinyl, if it's ever released on vinyl. Maybe it is. I just don't have it. Ruthless, They Rise. Number 17. Number 16 is the one and only EP that I'm putting on this list. Nearly put another one on. Broken Teeth EP almost made my list, but I don't really usually include EPs, but this one was just too good not to include. This is Denner Sherman's Satan's Tomb. And this is a 4-song EP from the guitar duo that, that led the charge for the early Merciful Fate records. And that's what this sounds like. It has that classic Merciful Fate sound. Vocalist, of course, is, what is his name? Sean Peck, who plays in bands whose names are going to slip my mind right now. Golly, man, I can't believe I can't remember what bands he's in. Driving me nuts. Anyhow, doesn't matter. Great vocalist in the Rob Halford style tradition. Merciful Fate tradition. Doesn't have that same kind of falsetto style that King Diamond has, but he has a unique style that works well with the Denner Sherman twin guitar attack and an old school heavy metal sound. Just a fantastic release from these guys. Looking forward to something full length from them. Denner Sherman at number 16. Number 15. Another one I don't have on vinyl. I have this on CD. This is Armored Saint with Wind Hands Down. This is a great album from them. Just balls out heavy metal, not thrash metal, not speed metal, not anything. Just straightforward heavy metal. Exactly what I wanted to hear from these guys. Great hooky songs, fantastic drum work and bass work. The rhythm section is just on fire here. And yeah, there's just nothing I don't like about this. Joey Vera produced the album, did a fantastic job. Of course, John Bush on vocals, who also sang for Anthrax. Sounds as good as he ever has. This particular album is marred a little bit for me, only because it will forever. 2015, the year my dad died, this past September. And this CD was playing in my car the entire week. I was running back and forth to the hospital with my dad. And so unfortunately, whenever I play this album now, it kind of reminds me of that period and that time. But that doesn't mean it's not a good album. It's a fantastic album. It'll just forever remind me of that time in my life. So Armored Saint wins hands down. Okay, where are we at here? I made a list so I wouldn't forget. Number 14. Gotta be honest with this next one. I expected it to be higher. This is one of my favorite speed thrash metal bands. This one did not bowl me over at first. It took me a while to get into, but once I did again, I just kept listening to it. This is Annihilator, and this is Suicide Society. And I bought this one on vinyl and CD as well. Actually, this vinyl was a gift from Maria from the vinyl community, and I love this record. Such a fantastic record. Jeff Waters is just a machine gun guitar player, and he also does vocals in this album. I think one of the things that really got me into it much more than just listening alone was when I got the CD version that came with a bonus disc where Jeff explains the lyrics behind each of the songs. And for some reason, once he did that, I just really started getting into it more. I gave it more of a listen, and it just really grabbed me after that. Will it replace those classic first albums, Alice in Helen, Never Neverland, and whatnot, as you know, better than those? Probably not, but it's still a great album for 2015. Thrash metal from Annihilator. Alright, so where are we at here? We're at number 13. Last album for this band, who are retiring. Steve Rose led Mortification, Realm of the Skeletor. And I listened to this thing over and over and over again. This features the the recent lineup of the bands who, I think they recorded the same lineup that recorded the last album as well. Of course, they went for an old school thrash death metal sound. People really didn't give it a chance because I don't see this on anybody's list. People were saying, I don't really care for Mortification anymore. But honestly, I think this album is just fantastic. Lincoln Bowen on guitar. Lincoln's been with the band, well, he's been on and off with the band since the, 90s? Mid-90s? Just a great guitar player. And then, of course, Andrew Esnoff on drums. And Andrew's been with the band for quite a while, too. Steve Rowe is now focusing his attentions on his new band, One Row Vision, who also released an album in 2015. That one didn't make my list. I actually like the Mortification album better. If I would have made a bigger list, it would have been on there, but alas, it's not. Alright, so what do we got next? Number 12. Shred Metal from Impala Terry. Rob Rock on vocals. One of my favorite vocalists with one of my favorite guitar players. This is a great album. I heard some people say they didn't care for it. Too much double bass. Nah, okay. I tend to like double bass. There is quite a bit of that on here. A lot of fast, speedy, power metal, neoclassical guitar playing. Fast guitar solos. This is the kind of stuff that, you know, Yngwie fans would like as far as the guitar solos would go. Songwriting, however, I think is catchier than anything that Yngwie's done in years. And Rob Rock, like I said, just one of the greatest voices in metal. Very limited pressing on this one. Only 500 copies on vinyl worldwide. I believe this is white vinyl. Impalatory denim. Okay, where are we at? We're at number 11. New wave of traditional heavy metal band. This album almost nearly cracked my top 10, but man, I just couldn't take any of this stuff out of my top 10 out. This is a great album, Night Demon, Curse of the Damned, fantastic. New wave of traditional heavy metal, great guitar playing. You know, it's got that Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, new wave of British heavy metal, all that kind of stuff all wrapped up inside of here. Hooky songs, great guitar solos, pounding rhythm section. This is heavy metal. There's nobody screaming at you like a, you know, ticked off drill sergeant yelling at a lazy cadet, or breakdowns or any of that kind of garbage. This is what heavy metal should sound like. Great release from Night Demon. Highly recommend checking it out if you haven't heard of it. This was actually, I believe, their second album, their first full length. I can't remember if their first one was full length or an EP. Regardless, great stuff from Night Demon. And we are at number 10. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Number 10, independent band from Austria. CD only release, Veil of Deception, Tearing Up the Roots. I swear I listened to this thing 50 times in my car, over and over and over again. Fantastic album, little bit of groove, old school heavy metal. Vocals are very unique, you know, not modern sounding, very, I don't know what the word is, pitchy at times, but just very unique, and I love the charismatic vocal style. With heavy metal, for me, it's never been about perfect vocals, or, you know, I don't care about American Idol kind of stuff, you know. I don't care how technically good the person can sing. It's a matter of if they have charisma and style. In the words of Ted Nugent, it's all about the attitude, you know, and this has a ton of attitude. Great stuff. I actually liked their first album too, but I think this is a big improvement over the first album, both in production and songwriting. Great stuff. Tight band. Worth picking up. Veil of Ashes, Tearing Up the Roots, 2015, coming in at number 10. Number 9. Number 9 is kind of sad. This album was released earlier this year, I believe in August. And just last night we lost Lemmy. This is Motorhead. And Motorhead was playing in the background, and this is Bad Magic, which will most likely be the last studio album from Motorhead, unless by some miraculous thing there was stuff recorded that was not released. But yeah, Lemmy died just yesterday. And earlier in the year, we also lost Filthy Phil Taylor, who was, you know, from the classic Motorhead lineup. But regardless, just a great Motorhead album. Nothing mind-blowing as far as like a change in style. It's what you would expect from Motorhead. You know, it's just grind it out, grunt it out, bang your head, heavy metal, hard rock. I mean, we are Motorhead. We play rock and roll. You know, that's exactly what he is. You know, that's exactly what it is. Lemmy is Motorhead. So you got your Rick bastard bass just growling in the background, and it's Motorhead. What can I say? Definitely deserving to be in my top 10. This album got played a lot this year. Rest in peace, Lemmy. Rest in peace, Filthy Phil. Number 8. Number 8 coming in. This album, great. This band's just been releasing solid record after solid record for the last few years. This is W.A.S.P and Golgotha. Great hooky songs. You know, not quite like the early first few albums, more like the mid-period W.A.S.P stuff, where they get a little more progressive, a little more melodic, no less shocking. However, Blackie's newfound faith in Christianity shines through in the lyrics, but it's not cheesy. You know, he's not singing Sunday school hymns. He's putting his faith into words, which like is what he's always done, I guess. You know, it's always been a way of shocking of people, just like Alice Cooper's been doing for the last few years. I don't think anybody would be, you know, offended necessarily by the lyrics on this album. If you are, then well, don't listen to it, I guess. But anyhow, Great album from W.A.S.P. Great production, killer guitar playing, and Blackie sounds as good as he ever has on vocals. Like I said, very memorable songs. I was really impressed with this album from W.A.S.P. Golgotha 2015, coming in at number 8. Number 7, surprise gift from EJD715, Eric Dust, blew my mind. And if you check out my last video, a few videos ago, I did my Power Mad collection. Power Mad Infinite. Oh my word, this is a fantastic thrash metal release. Modern production, a modern sound, but still thrash. It still fits with that classic Power Mad sound, you know, speed metal, clean vocals, but aggressive vocals. It's just a great album from them, and I was shocked at not only how much I liked it, but that it was even out. I really didn't know anything about it until it showed up in my mailbox. So thank you very much, EJD715, for hooking me up with this album, because this one has gotten a lot of spin time, both on the turntable and in my car. Took the download card and downloaded and made a CD to play in the car. So good stuff. Power thrash from Power Mad. I believe these guys were from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Is that right? Or is it Michigan? I don't know. USA. American thrash metal from Power Mad. Alrighty here, number 6. This another one that surprised me. This is the second album from this band, and their first album I liked, but this album I really love. And that's unusual, because usually a band's second album isn't usually always as good as the first album, but this one I think is an improvement. This is Black Star Riders, and of course this is the Scott Gorham, former Thin Lizzy band, and it has a very Thin Lizzy-esque sound, dual guitar harmonies, that Irish folk influence, hard rock stuff, hooky songs. Just a great album, man, and it's very memorable songs. I think, you know, for people who complain that they don't like this band because they're a Thin Lizzy ripoff and they're trying to live off the legacy of Phil Lynott. Well, there's a reason they changed their name to Black Star Riders and aren't calling themselves Thin Lizzy, because Phil Lynott's not here. But you know what? I think Phil Lynott will be proud of these songs. This is a great album. Great hard rock from some veterans, and especially Scott Gorham, you know, ex-Thin Lizzy guitar player. Black Star Riders, The Killer Instinct, 2015, coming in at number 6. What can I say? Good album. Ranked a lot higher than I expected it would in this list. Okay, next up, one that I just recently got, but that's some really good English right there. One that I recently got, one that I recently received, but one that's just been tearing off my eardrums, man, just ripping my face off. That kind of, you know, face-melting heavy metal. These guys just been putting out great album after great album. This is Saxon with Battering Ram. This album is great. You know what? Saxon just been putting out a string of great albums. Read a review recently that said this album was unnecessary and boring and it wasn't as good as their early stuff. I don't know what album that guy's listening to, because this is fantastic. New wave of traditional heavy metal. These guys are schooling all these young bucks that are out there trying to do it. As much as I love bands like Night Demon and Enforcer and White Wizard and bands like that, these guys are the originals, and they are still as good as they always were, if not better. Definitely heavier. Very clean production on this one. It was produced by, oh man, I forgot the guy who produced it. But the production is just out of this world. See if I can remember, see if I can find his name real quick on here. Here's that's actually the box set. So it came with a vinyl and a CD. Yeah, of course it doesn't say anywhere in the back who it's produced by. But the production is outstanding. I mean, it's clean. You can hear all these guys got buzzsaw guitars, but you can hear everything. The vocals are clear. You can make out what he's saying, even though he's aggressive. And the rhythm section, you can hear everything. The bass, the drums. It's just a great album from these guys. Starts off with just a barrage of a speed metal with Battering Ram. You got slower mid-paced stuff with Queen of Hearts, with this kind of off-beat, off-tempo riff. It's just a good album, a solid album from Saxon. These guys just continue to impress and release great stuff. Battering Ram coming in at number 5. Number 4, another old school band. They released 2 albums this year. One of them was a new studio album, and they just released one of the best albums of their career. This one I really do think ranks up there with their classic 80s stuff. This is Raven with Extermination. This album is fantastic. John Gallagher's vocals are shrill, high. glass piercing like they always have been. The songs are memorable. The riffs are manic. This is Raven lunacy, exactly what you want to hear from Raven. Came with a free CD, but you know what? I ended up buying the CD as well because I actually did this one as a pre-order with the band when they were raising money to put the album out. And for those that did, they also released this album. It originally came out on CD. This is Party Killers, which is the companion release. This is all covers, and this one here I listened to as much as this one. So I really enjoyed both these records. Gotta say a big thanks to Brother Greeno for hooking me up with this vinyl version he found locally at a store near him, because I got the CD version from doing the pre-order, so it was really great that I could find a vinyl version as well. You got stuff on here: Deep Purple, Thin Lizzy, Budgie, Status Quo, Queen, David Bowie. There's a little bit of everything on here. Just a fantastic release from Raven, both of these. If I had to choose between the two, and only say one of them was in this list, it would definitely be Extermination, because the new songs really are that good, and this album is that solid. Kind of a fun artwork too on the cover. I like it. It's very Raven-esque. I don't know. Destroy All Monsters, Tomorrow, Feeding the Monster. There's just not a bad song on here. Silver Bullet. Definitely check this album out if you are into any sort of old school speed metal, new wave or British heavy metal. I mean, these guys are innovators in the 80s, and they're still rocking today. So coming in at number 4, Raven with Extermination. Alright, next up, another new band. This album just dominated my turntable and CD player when I bought it, and this is a tip from a couple guys. LJ, I believe, told me about him, as well as Nathan from the vinyl community, and a new discovery for me this year, and Black Trip. This is their second album called Shadowline. I picked up both their albums now, and I love both of them. But this second album, I think, is just fantastic, and they definitely wear some of their influences on their sleeves. You're going to hear old school Maiden, you're going to hear Thin Lizzy, you're going to hear those dual guitar harmonies, those dual guitar riffs, and you're going to hear some old school Scorpions on here. It kind of has that old school, early 80s feel, and that's what I like about it. It's hooky, it's heavy, it's hard. It's what you want when you say heavy metal. And the vocals are very cool. They're clean but raspy, and they're charismatic and unique. They fit the band. They don't sound like every other singer out there, and I really enjoyed this band quite a bit. One of my new favorites, Black Trip, Shadowline. Okay, we're getting down to the bottom of the pile. Number 2, another new band. This band is made up of ex-members of Sacred Warrior, Recon, Deliverance. This is Worldview. And if you watch any of my videos in the last 6 months, you probably heard this playing in the background, because I played it that much. This is a great release. I heard a friend of mine who's a guitar player say he didn't think the riffs were all that great. I don't know. Maybe it's not the most innovative riffing in the world, but the songs are just so hooky. They pull me in and they keep me in the whole album from beginning to end. Hooks, vocal hooks. Singer Ray Parra, formerly of Sacred Warrior, he's got a set of pipes on him, and I think this whole album is just fantastic. If I can use the word anointed, it's just got that to it, where it just sucks you in and keeps you in for the entire thing. Most of the music here written by George Ochoa, who of course was with Deliverance and Recon. Speaking of Recon, their classic Behind Enemy Lines album is going to be coming out in February on vinyl re-release. But it also features some guest appearances by other guys, like Larry Farkas from Vengeance Once Dead is on here. Here's the center. This one's autographed by the whole band. And so there's George Ochoa, Johnny Gonzalez, formerly of Recon. There's Ray Parra, George Ochoa, and Todd Libby on bass. Like I said, fantastic album. My number 2 pick, new band, one that I've listened to over and over again. And if you look at any video that I've recorded in the last few months where this is playing in the background, almost every single time I played this, without saying who it was, somebody in the comment section, that sounds awesome in the background, who is it? Worldview. I really hope this one comes out on vinyl eventually. This would have been on M24 Music Group is the name of the record label. Alright, number 1. This band's been one of my favorites since the 80s. Have to admit though, not since 1990 did any of their albums make my top list, especially at number 1. But this album is just phenomenal. This is one of their best albums. This guy might have been bigger in the 80s, but this is one of their best albums. This is Stryper with Fallen. Number 1 pick for 2015. This album has everything I loved about Stryper. It's got the vocal harmonies, it's got the guitar harmonies, it's got the dual guitar leads, it's got Michael Sweet just singing his brains out and screaming. A song like Pride on here, he hasn't screamed like that since Against the Law. This album is just fantastic. It's heavy, it's serious, it's metal, it's not fluff. Anybody who thinks this is fluff just hasn't listened to it, frankly, because this is just a great album. Guitar solos are fantastic. Oz Fox does some of his best guitar work on here. The song Yahweh features some fantastic. It starts off with this fantastic vocal harmonies coming in, almost like a choir, before the song just rips in with the guitars. Stryper's always had that kind of overdriven guitar sound, and on this one that just comes through so much. That guitar sound is just awesome. Fallen, heavy song. Pride, heavy song. Even the ballad on here is very good. I mean, you think ballads of Stryper, you know, Always There For You, Honestly, you know, those kind of songs are, I don't know, it's 80s schlock, and I admit that I have a soft spot for some of that stuff, but it's not my favorite stuff. Even the ballads on here are good. And then also they do a cover of After Forever by Black Sabbath. Solid album by them, man. This is just great. Highly recommend picking this up. This album on vinyl is limited to only 1,500 copies. So if you haven't picked up one, pick one up soon because they're not going to be around forever. Center spread. And this is a double album on white vinyl. I bought this on CD long before I bought it on vinyl. It came out on CD first. Custom center rings. One of my favorite albums of the year. I mean, when I was picking these out, I didn't even have to second guess what my favorite was. Stryper's Fallen was it. I mean, it's just been played that much constantly. So there you go. Stryper coming at number 1. So that's my list. 2015 top 21. Some stuff I left out that I purchased. Crawl, Old Wood and Broken Dreams, great album. Iron Maiden, Book of Souls, didn't make my list. It's okay, it's just didn't blow me away. Slayer, Repentless, Venom from the Very Depths, Seven Dust, Kill the Flaw, excuse me. One Row Vision, Two-Headed Monster, Sweet Lynch, Only to Rise, My Silent Wake, Eyes of the Needle, Battlecross, Rise to Power, Broken Teeth, Bulldozer, Blind Guardian, Beyond the Red Mirror, Def Leppard self-titled album, which to me that album is just garbage. Hailstorm, Into the Wildlife, another one, just totally garbage. Those are some of the albums other albums I picked up that didn't make my list. That's just some of them. There were just so many great albums this year. It's just unbelievable. And that's not even counting all the ones I didn't even get to pick up yet. Ambush, Desecrator is on top of my list. Evil Invaders, Pulsive Pleasure, Hatchet, Fear Beyond, Lunacy, Seven Witches, Terror Maze, Robin Trower, Viking, Death Dealer, and Cage. That's the bands I was trying to think of earlier. What can I say? Not perfect. So anyhow, hope you enjoyed this list. Let me know what your list is. Leave a message below. Let me know what your list is. If you disagree with some of these, if you agree, if whatever, tell me what your list is. What are some of yours? I'd like to hear it. I like to talk to you guys. That's why I do these videos. So that's it for this edition of NoLifeTillMetal.com. Top 21, 2015. Happy 2016. God bless. Stay strong.